Right. We are now in session of the regular meeting of the Walker County, Georgia Board of the Commissioners at 6 p.m. on Thursday, July 10th, 2025. Clerk, will you please establish a quorum?
Commissioner Blakemore.
Present.
Commissioner Eskew.
Here.
Chairwoman Teams.
Here.
Commissioner Hart.
Here.
Commissioner Wilson.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. We need to approve the agenda, but I need to make one small change. The change is at the committee reports. We will not be hearing about the Coats of America building this session, but we will hear from Mr. Gilley about the litter committee. So I think we'll hear about Coats in the August meeting. So is that all right with all the commissioners?
Yes, ma'am.
We will move on then for approval. May I have a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No nays? It's approved as revised. Now we need to approve the minutes from the regular scheduled meeting held on June 5th at 6 p.m. 2025, and the minutes from the special call meeting held on June 26th at 6 p.m. 2025. So we'll do the minutes from the June 5th meeting first. Is there a motion on the floor for those minutes?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? It is so passed for those minutes. Now the minutes on June 6th. Do I have a motion for the minutes on June 6th?
So moved.
26th, sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Hart. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion about that? All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? So passed. The minutes are passed. Now, this is the fun part of the meeting that I always like. This is a proclamation that I get to read. I would invite the folks from Blood Assurance to come up to the podium so I can read your proclamation and then hand it to you. I'll actually hand it down to somebody. Or maybe they can come and get it, maybe. Yeah, y'all can come up here. That's fine. All right, let me read this first for you. This proclamation by the Walker County Board of Commissioners for Blood Assurance Month. Whereas blood assurance donors in Walker County are caring and committed people responsive to the needs of others as evidenced by their desire to help save lives, many by donating blood regularly every 8 weeks. And whereas blood assurance needs 540 units of blood per day to meet the needs of the hospitals in the region they serve, including Walker County. And whereas Blood Assurance expects to draw 125,000 units of blood in 2025, and each blood donation can save the lives of up to 3 people. And whereas Walker County residents regularly answer the volunteer call to donate blood, thus potentially saving the lives of their fellow citizens. Whereas Blood Assurance serves Walker County through their blood center located at 3811 Battlefield Parkway in Fort Oglethorpe, as well as many mobile blood drives at local businesses, organizations, and places of worship. And therefore, I, Angela Teams, on behalf of the Walker County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim August as Blood Assurance Month in Walker County, in honor of a volunteer organization and their staff who contribute to the health of their fellow citizens by drawing, transporting, testing, and supplying blood to save lives every day. Signed and sealed this 10th day of July in the year 2025. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate the service. Thank you so much. I'm glad y'all are here. Okay, now I will do my chairwoman's report. It'll take about 5 minutes and I'll try to get through it. So, quickly, that is. Is that something I need to know about? Okay. All right, so to begin, I want to briefly address questions that have come to me regarding the purchase of the new ladder truck. First and foremost, if not for the unfortunate wreck of the previous ladder truck, this conversation likely wouldn't be taking place at this time. This is the extent of what I will say regarding that aspect of this situation. Later in this meeting, the board will consider the vote on the purchase of the new ladder truck. Chief Hodge will provide more detail in his department report, including how the specific vehicle was selected. My team is currently evaluating the most fiscally responsible way to proceed, whether through direct payment or financing. We are analyzing multiple options to ensure that we select the most cost-effective approach while maintaining the county's financial stability. The recent wreck has underscored a serious issue regarding the level of insurance coverage carried on our critical equipment. Until now, it was not widely known that the vehicle did not have full coverage insurance. The decision to carry only liability coverage, particularly on such a valuable asset, appears to have been a calculated cost-saving attempt made by the previous chairman. According to the insurance company, our insurance company, ACCG's analysis is that the county saved approximately $11,220 over the past 12 years by not insuring this vehicle with full coverage, although the truck was valued at approximately $640,000. This savings is disproportionately small compared to the risk assumed. Had full coverage been maintained, those funds would now be available to apply toward a replacement vehicle. Currently, the county pays $406,618 annually for auto coverage for 345 vehicles. With the additional coverage added this week, the new cost is estimated to be $452,618. This represents an increase of about $46,000, a modest investment when you consider the protection it provides for millions of dollars worth of critical equipment. Of course, we are not planning to add full coverage to every piece of equipment or every vehicle. Each asset is being evaluated individually, taking into account its value, usage, and replacement cost. With 345 vehicles in our fleet, it will take time to conduct a thorough review, and that's why I can only provide an estimate today. Switching subjects, the town halls have been going very well. Lots of participation and engagement from and with the communities. Some of my staff is attending with me, so a lot of information is being shared and available to the public in these town halls. As I promised, I am being visible and reachable. I am holding strong to that promise by visiting each area of the county throughout June, July, and August. I'm also willing to come anywhere I'm invited. The next town hall will be next Tuesday, July 15th at 6 o'clock in Rossville at the Rec Center on Williams Street. The other locations and dates can be found on our Facebook page, or you can contact our office for that information. I also want to address recent statements about my campaign promise to have a forensic audit performed. I never said, absolutely, we will have a forensic audit. To set the record straight, I always said I would definitely look into whether a forensic audit is needed. I have done that by talking extensively with our auditing firm, who do not advise that a forensic audit would be a useful tool because they never saw misconduct or mishandling of funds. And they wouldn't say that unless it was true, because they wouldn't put their professional reputation or credentials at risk. This has been covered several times, and I hope this puts this misunderstanding to rest. And my last item, I'm pleased to announce that the opportunity to participate in our new community survey is now available. We've partnered with Flash Vote, a vendor selected after reviewing 2 other vendors. Their platform was not only easy to use, but they also offered a cost-effective solution, coming in well under my spending authority of $25,000. With this service, we can conduct up to 4 different surveys in 12 months, allowing us to regularly gather valuable input from the community on a variety of topics. One of the unique features of Flash Vote is that participants will automatically receive a full survey result once the data is collected. Just like we get, you'll get the same thing. The process may feel a little different because previous surveys work differently than this one. The word panel is how you are identified as a participant in this survey. It simply provides the platform for you to answer the questions in the survey. The concept of the panel is so your answers are anonymous and unidentifiable. And lastly, you can go to our website or Facebook page to click on the link where you can choose to respond by email or text. Our staff is also available to help you even if you want a paper copy. We encourage everyone to participate. Your feedback helps shape the direction and the decisions of our priorities. Thank you very much for listening to that. All right, we'll go to the financial report. Our new CFO, he's not new anymore, he's been here a month, so Christian Roach. Welcome, Christian.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is kind of new for everyone. We're going to start presenting financials every month. I, starting a month ago, have tried to compile as much information as I could for the last 6 months, or the first 6 months of the year. Moving forward, next meeting I will do about 3 months worth of financials, and then after that we'll be on a monthly schedule, and then we'll have tentative meetings when we're during the audit, because it'll all be unaudited. So for revenue, so far as of March 31st, we collected $25.9 million, which is about 74.8% of budget. The reason for that being so high, as our target is 50%, is because we have property tax that we collect at the beginning of the cycle. We collect that through October and December mostly. So I've taken that number out, half of that. To give a better representation, we're actually at 19 million if we were to allocate that out per month, which is 54.89% of budget, which is on a good thing. We're collecting more than we expected, which is great. Lost revenue is 3 million. That's about 52% of budget, so that's very good. As you can see, our 2023 was 24.8, 2024 was 24.6, and 2025 as of March is 25.9. So we're doing a lot better in the last few years in collecting revenue. On to expenditures. Total expenditures were 19 million. That's about 54.72% of budget. There was a abnormal transfer of ARPA funds to finish the Water Authority project. So if that's not normal, so we shouldn't expect that during the year. So if we take that out, it's actually 48.36% of budget at 16.8 million. We also had high defects expenses where we did some repairs, and that was about $191,000 over budget, but that will increase our rent revenue by about $200,000 per year. So that was a good investment. Now, fund balance. Fund balance is, if activity continues, is projected at 24.9 million, which is about where we're at right now, or as of September 30th. This does not consider any large uses of fund balance, for example, funding the pension more, which y'all have already voted on, or a fire truck replacement. So that number should go down when we start making those purchases. As you can see, 2020, we started at 17, and that was before ARPA money. We went up to 23 and 27 and 22, and then we have been using fund balance since then. The fund balance is about 8.5 months of our budget. So, and that is my financial presentation. Do you have any questions?
I do.
Of course.
So the pension number has not come out of the fund balance yet,
No.
correct?
No.
So the number you're showing still includes that 1.2 million?
Correct, because this is as of March 31st, and we voted on that, I believe, the last meeting.
Right.
So,
Okay.
But further, it has literally not been written yet. The check has not been written for that yet.
We're still anticipating that number to be
Yes,
1.2?
yes, we are.
Yes.
The timing is because they were still calculating everybody's final payment.
Okay.
But that number that they gave us is still what they think is gonna be.
Okay, very good.
Thank you, Christian.
thank you.
Appreciate you. All right, we'll move on to committee reports. So I'll invite Director Payne Gilley to come to the podium and tell us about the litter committee.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good evening.
Good evening.
So our last litter committee meeting was on July 1st, and we covered a variety of topics. A lot of things have happened since our previous meeting. During that meeting, we outlined some key personnel in the area that could possibly help us with litter control, and one of them being Roper at Roper. So I contacted Justin Smith and talked to him about possibly putting out some flyers in their break rooms, maybe some trash cans on the roadside so their employees can help keep the litter off of the streets, and he was very excited to contribute to that. The other thing that we have, I obtained a couple of contact numbers from the road department for litter on the state routes in the county. Those are Georgia Department of Transportation numbers. I'm going to share that with everybody, but if they want to call the landfill office, we'll be glad to give those out to them. But the first one's 706-295-6025, and the second one being 470-543-2007. And that's if people see litter on the state routes, they can call those numbers, and then they can mobilize a state crew to pick that stuff up. We also have developed, we've kind of mimicked the fire department with a rapid response team at the landfill. We've worked with the road department to kind of handle some of the complaints that they get in. So whenever a complaint comes in, they will forward us a work order, and then we'll send out one of our trucks from the landfill with a supervisor and 3 trustees to pick up, that material. And we've probably done that about half a dozen times so far. So we're really excited about that. That seems to be helping. Also, citizens can go onto the Walker County ga.gov website, our county website, and if they go to the menu, the Connect pull-down menu, and then go to Citizens Portal, and then Citizens Request, they can actually fill in a request for litter pickup, and then that will get routed back to us eventually. We're excited about the upcoming school year because we plan to finalize some presentations for the school so that they can put them in their homerooms and break areas and things like that to help educate the youth in the county about the harms of littering. And also, Randy is going to discuss doing the same thing with the library system in their upcoming meeting later on this month. And one other item is that we've been working towards getting community service personnel from the court system to help with pickups on weekends and things like that. And I'd like to thank Alex for taking the lead on talking with them and getting some things finalized. So we're excited about the opportunities there. Our next meeting is going to be Monday, August 4th at the Commissioner's office at 5:30, and the public's invited, and we'd like to see you there.
That was a great report. Thank you. Your committee is doing wonderful things, and everybody in the county is talking about that it's much better, and the momentum that you keep with that committee is very commendable. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good job.
I've noticed an improvement on the roadside already.
I have too. Yeah, we'll keep talking about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move to department reports. I'll invite Chief Blake Hodge to come up and talk about the fire department for us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Got several topics I want to talk to you about, kind of update you on this evening. The first one is giving you an update on our fleet maintenance program. As you know, we hired a fleet mechanic that's in the fire department now, responsible for doing fleet maintenance on our apparatus and all of our vehicles. Dustin McNabb, and he's doing a great job. We've had a lot of success. He started actually completing work orders on March 25th, so he's been working he's got about 60 work days in, and he's completed 62 work orders. He's averaging about 1 a day. These previously would take weeks and sometimes months to do, and we've actually maintained a pumper in each of our 18 fire stations for going on 3 months now. That hadn't happened in 6 years. So he's doing a great job. It's working, so I definitely appreciate your support in getting that mechanic in the fire department. Next on my list is in February, Macklemore had a change in their fire department administration, and we were asked to come help them prepare their ISO evaluation. And pleased to say that they received their score, and they're going to be an ISO 4. They were only 1 point, I think it was just over 1 point away from being a 3, which is good. Again, 10 is bad, non-protected, so the 4 is actually really good. And, you know, I anticipate in the next 18 months they'll be able to call ISO back and they'll be able to get a 3. So with that, and the reason I'm bringing that up is that it takes effect September 1st. So September 1st, and I'll be working with Joe LeGee on how to push out this information as best we can to everybody. But as you know, anybody within that area up there right now is unprotected, homeowners, business owners, so they're paying a very high insurance premium. So because we have automatic aid with them, they will get, any homeowner, any business owner will get our ISO 3 if they're within 5 miles of that fire station. So we will map this out. We will figure out a way to get, reach all of our citizens and business owners in that area, and they will see a drastic improvement in their insurance premiums. Now that's if the 3 would be if they're within 5 miles of the station and 1,000 feet from a hydrant, but then there would be the 8B, which is still way better than a 10 if they're over 1,000 feet from a fire hydrant. So that's really good news for Macklemore Fire Department and the citizens up there come September 1st. So to kind of follow that, tonight you're voting on automatic aid with New Salem in Dade County. It's effective for August 1st. We'll get it in the CAD. We'll be going to automatic dispatching. They'll be dispatched with us on alarms, as we also will be with them. For structure fires, we added vehicle accidents with entrapment because of our response time and the trying to negotiate up the mountain and the terrain. So they're gonna actually respond to a few more call types than just your typical automatic aid with structure fires. And the same goes for those. It will take a little bit longer. I'll have to submit some things to ISO, mapping, some details. But when I get that, and I've in communication with ISO now to try to figure out what that time frame looks like post August 1st, so we can find out when we can let those citizens and business owners within that 5 miles will also receive our ISO rating. So a lot of good things up on the mountain, with hopefully bringing some insurance premiums down in the near future. So next is the ladder truck. So unfortunately, on June 24th, there was an accident. We lost our frontline ladder or aerial apparatus, which we have to have. We have to replace this unit. It was a 2013 KME. We've known for the past year and a half, 2 years, we've known just by purchasing apparatus, looking at pumpers, and talking with dealers and manufacturers that aerial trucks or ladders, as we're speaking of, they're on a 2 to 4 year turnout time or manufacturing time. So when this happened, obviously, I spoke with Chairwoman Teams immediately. I'm like, this is, it's not good. We may not find one. And we may have to look, if we can't find one, we may have to look at trying to find something used, which I totally would advise against, because when you buy used fire apparatus, that you're buying somebody else's problems. They're not getting rid of it because it's going good for them. We have historical facts here where we have purchased used apparatus, and it's cost us in maintenance a lot of money. We can't hardly keep them on the road. A good example is our reserve ladder truck. It's 28, 29 years old. We need it for ISO credit. We keep it running the best we can. It passes all the tests, but as soon as if we try to put it on the road, something breaks down every time with it. You know, if you go to sell that truck, you're not gonna get any money out of it because people are not gonna want to buy problems. So with pumpers we've bought in the past, the shops had to rebuild engines in them. They found one they've rebuilt twice. They found bolts in it that didn't even match the engine. There's loose bolts in the engine causing damage. So I respect any decision you want to make, but I do not recommend buying a used piece of equipment such as the ladder truck. You can get away with it a little bit more on a pumper because we have reserves in pumpers, but you still end up with a lot of maintenance on a used piece of equipment like that. But we need a quality truck as a frontline ladder truck. So I gave you what I handed you was the specifications and options. We researched, we contacted Pierce, Peach State, which handles the Rev Group, which is Schmiel, E1, KME, Ferrara. We contacted Rosenbauer, Sutphen, and the only manufacturer that had any units available was Pierce. They had the one that is before you is actually in production right now. The other two they had were demos that wouldn't be available till the first of the year. And of course, they're going to have mileage on them. And I did ask how much, because, some demos are not bad. It's low mileage and there might be a cost savings. But I was told that it wouldn't be a $10,000 difference because they have to run everything back through, put new tires on it, service it. And then it is what it is with no, you can't make any changes. So we were very fortunate to find both of those demos have sold in the last few weeks. We were very, very fortunate to be able to secure the option on this particular truck because if not, we'd be waiting 2 to 4 years. The price change would go up. This truck, they call these stock units. They're building them as a stock unit. There's minimal changes you can make to it. If you go in to spec a unit out as a custom, you're automatically, because of engineering, adding $150,000 to $200,000 to it. That's just the way it works. So this fits our need. It's a single axle. We had a tandem axle. As you know, with our roads, that ladder truck we had was actually a little too big for Walker County. This is a single axle, shorter wheelbase, easier to maneuver, easier to set up. It's 17,000 pounds lighter. That unit that was totaled was 71,000 pounds. So again, a lot of truck on the road, quite a bit. We asked the question. Several of these manufacturers said, "Hey, we can get you one, but it's going to be their stock units. If they were still going to be 18 to 24 months out." And then the customs were up to 4 years, 3 to 4 years. The demand's just high, and then production is just slow with them. So I feel very fortunate to find one that actually is conducive to what we need and what will fit Walker County. Unfortunately, it sounds like a lot of money, but most of these ladder trucks are going for $1.8 to $2 million on average. So this is a good price. I know it stings, and it's not anything we anticipated. This ladder truck, our ladder truck we had should have made it another 8 or 9 years. So this one's going to, we purchased this one. This one's going to be a 20-year at a minimum unit for Walker County. So, looking at the unfortunate side of having to spend the money, but it's going to last a while, and we'll have it insured. And my recommendations to continue the purchase process for this unit. If you flip, I highlighted some areas in it just so you can see some specific items in it. But if you'll go to page 12, you can look at the warranty. I highlighted the warranty aspect of the unit, and I think you'll be pleased with some highlights of it. The ladder itself is a 20-year structural warranty. Obviously, the poly tanks with the water's lifetime, there's 10-year on the paint, 10-year on the structural warranty of the truck, so the actual, what they build out as the rescue body. So this truck does fit our needs, and that would be my recommendation, would be to continue. You have any questions?
Anyone have any questions?
When
Chief?
did you say this unit will be ready?
It's supposed to come off the line in September,
So we'd have it by October?
in theory.
Yeah. They can't get a part.
I mean, usually with these trucks, they say September 1st, it's September 20th.
Okay.
So that's kind of a norm. So I would hate to tell you an exact date.
No.
I've got a question about some of the intergovernmental agreements that you have. So,
Yes, sir.
one of the nights from New Salem, you have been working on some others. Are all those now closed, or are you still working on some others?
We've got to get, one thing on the list is both Walker County and the other, such as Taloga and some other departments, the insurance portion, they've got to get approved. I'm still waiting on approval from them, because it says in there that we're gonna show that we're gonna add them to our insurance, which I understand is a costing thing. We're just putting it on there to identify that they're coming into Walker County, and then
Right.
vice versa. So I'm still waiting on some of those to come back.
We were working on one in the city of Lafayette. Is that one
That's been in place, yes, sir.
been in place? The one in Chattooga County?
The Trine is, but we've got 3 others that we're trying to work on in Chattooga.
Okay, that's what I thought. They're still working those in.
Yep, and then we've got, we're trying to work with West Brow. Again, we've had one with West Brow, we're trying to renew it. And then Lookout Mountain, we're waiting on, they had a change in administration as well, and we've been waiting on them. So I think they're gonna get back with us fairly soon.
Yeah. The one I'm particularly referencing is one at Sablinka.
Yes, sir.
Is that one still in the process of being
Yes, sir.
worked on?
So those mutual aids, like, are those volunteer on the mountain then? Are those volunteer departments?
So Macklemore is a paid fire chief, and then volunteers. New Salem is volunteer. Lookout Mountain would be volunteer. West Brow would be volunteer. All the Chattooga is volunteer.
So is it optional to get, if they meet your standards or whatever, once we get like the Hinkle Fire Station, can they come on to ours and run, volunteer for us also?
Sure, we've had that in the past.
Yeah, so, okay. But hopefully that will help get something,
Sure.
we get that up and
Yeah,
running.
I think with the new station up there, it would draw some
Volunteers
interest,
that-
so hopefully.
Cause they can do work, volunteer
Yeah,
both
yes.
counties. Thank you.
I got one more question.
Yes, sir.
So your fleet mechanic, has he been through the training? Has he got some training to go through or has he been through all that
So
already?
he is, what he's doing now is performing maintenance as he knows as a mechanic. We're sending him, October is his first pump class.
Okay.
So we've got him scheduled, and he was accepted actually this week into that pump training.
Okay.
To work on the fire pumps. And he'll go through about 2 to 3 of those classes before he's just completely turned loose into tearing down pumps.
Right. Okay.
Because there's several different types. And we want to make sure that he's proficient at it.
Did he come out of the field of fire trucks or fire?
No, sir. No,
He was just a mechanic and
Yes,
he's
sir.
trained. Okay, well, good.
It was through an interview process.
Okay.
that He was chosen.
Well, good. I'm glad that's working.
It is. Working well.
Good.
Anything else from the commission?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Chief Hodge.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
All right, we'll move into our public hearing section. There are 3 things we're going to be listening to the public comments on these hearings, and each one will ask if anyone has a comment on them. The first one is the 2026 fiscal year budget. The initial proposed FY '26 budget was presented to the board during a special called meeting on June 26th that was open to the public. The board took a hard look and made some revisions to strengthen our ability to deliver high-quality services to the citizens. This is the first of 2 public hearings to gather input from our citizens. The second will be on August 7th. Is there anyone that would like to speak to this item? Sure, Ms. Hulsey.
ask questions about the budget at this time, or do we just make comments?
I will leave it up to the commissioners if they want to answer, but.
Am I allowed to direct it to the CFO to add questions
Is it relating,
for budget? Or would
Yes.
you prefer me to direct it to you?
you can go through me, but we can do that, yes.
Okay, okay. And is there any way you could pull up the budget, the full budget, not the summary?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I noticed that there was no line item for a hotel motel tax revenue that I could see. So, and again, if you can just take notes and maybe email me, because I don't want to take everybody's time.
It'd be great, thank you.
Okay. So if you get back to me on that. And second of all, now, if this is true, y'all deserve a standing ovation. I'm being positive, okay? And this is huge if this is true. I noticed that there was 0 for SUDA anywhere on this budget. Am I to interpret that we have a 0% rating in unemployment tax?
We don't pay unemployment tax.
Well, you're
Yeah.
required to pay FUTA. I mean, you're exempt from FUTA, but state entities are required to pay SUTA, state unemployment tax, unless they have a 0 rating. So if you have a 0 rating, that is an amazing thing, and you deserve a hand for that. So
I
is
don't
that?
think we have enough information to even answer that today, but we can get back with you on it.
Okay, well, if it is, that's amazing, and y'all deserve a kudos for that one. Okay, so looking at payroll increases between 2023 and 2026, and, you know, my background is in payroll, HR, all that good stuff. In a 3-year period, I think you would normally expect anywhere from a 10 on the high side of 15% in payroll taxes. I don't think the size of our county has really changed drastically in that 3-year period, but we have, and I'll just run through the list, and again, offline, if you could answer this for me. Governing body had a 43% increase, payroll and accounting had a 57% increase, HR had a 100% increase, tax commissioner had a 33% increase, tax assessor had a 45% increase, clerk of superior court had a 35.4% increase, magistrate court had a 28.8% increase, building inspection had an 81.4% increase, criminal investigation had a 41.2% increase, CHAMPS program had an 81% increase, court services had a 53.3% increase, highways and streets, and maybe you could explain, I'm not even sure what that is, had a 64.7% increase, maintenance shop had a 58.7% increase, civic center had a 164.5% increase. And I understand some of these can be we hired additional personnel and maybe we were understaffed previously, but I know just from looking at some of these, some of them appear that we are paying above market for some of the positions. Under governing body, there is $17,500 roughly that we're not paying FICA on, which would indicate that there's $17,500 in wages being paid over the $176,000 maximum to pay FICA. So how many, I guess my question is, how many people under governing body make a salary greater than $176,000 annually?
A single person?
I think it's just one.
One person?
Wait. You're talking about one person, one salary, more than $176,000?
Yes.
Nobody. In the governing authority? That's
In
my
governing
office.
body? Well, then the calculation on FICA is wrong, and we can talk about that offline.
I don't make anywhere near that. Just saying.
Just a comment, real quick. The FICA that we pay is off of so you take their pay, you subtract out their benefits because that is not FICA taxable, and then that is the amount we pay on. So if they are paying into insurance, you would deduct that from.
Okay, so you're saying that there's roughly $17,500 then being paid into insurance, and that would, okay, gotcha, thank you.
Yeah.
Answered. Okay, insurance, so thank you so much for clarifying the insurance question at the beginning. But I want to ask the question, and maybe this is a finance and a general board question. Has there ever been discussed of us getting our own captive?
Our own what?
Captive.
Captive? Not since I've been here.
Okay.
Before me.
Is that something that possibly offline we could just have
Yeah,
a
definitely.
conversation about?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I don't have the budget in front of me, so that question I can't really
We don't
ask.
have Wi-Fi here, that's why he can't pull it.
Yeah,
up.
no worries, no worries. Okay, animal shelter, on page 23 and page 34 of the budget, there was no data listed, and it looks like that would maybe just was in error.
So, sorry, say that again?
Under animal shelter, on page 23 and page 24, there was a section where there was no data for,
So animal services is transitioning into animal control and animal shelter.
okay, so that's why, and that would also explain why there was 0 for the 2026 financial, and okay, thank you. All right, and then last but not least, the auditor that recommended the, not to do, against the forensic audit, so she didn't violate her professional standards, she would have had to give that to us in writing, and can we request that through open records?
I asked her for that, and her boss told her they wouldn't do that.
Well, then it's
So I
not a
don't
true
have it.
recommendation, because according to
I was
professional
just telling
standards.
the audience what I was told. That's-
Okay, so there is nothing in writing that.
Right, that's right.
No formal recommendation for that,
That's
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak to the budget? All right, then we'll move to the second item, which is in the public hearing, which is ordinance O-02-25 to amend Chapter 22 of the Code of Walker County, Georgia regarding land development. We have started the process of amending the public hearing procedure for planning and zoning matters to update our code so it's in compliance with the mandated state law to require a minimum of 10 minutes of verbal comment for both sides. We plan to make further revisions of this document after hearing from the public tonight. So there will be no action by the board tonight on this particular topic. So who, if anyone, would like to speak to this potential change in ordinance number 02? Mr. Hulsey?
Thank you, Chairman.
I'm sorry.
Jamie Hulsey.
Yes, thank you. I should have asked you to say
Yeah,
that.
well, Mister's not appropriate, but Jamie Hulsey. Okay, I attended the planning and zoning meeting, or a lot of us did, and it was a great meeting. We learned new stuff every time we're all here to learn things. Not so many people's always come, but, we learn planning and zoning, don't participate at all in having an agenda. But it was a great meeting, a good turnout. And I've said it a year ago or so, great people y'all selected to be on planning and zoning. They care about the county, they care about doing what's right, and as you know by now, the proposal to change the ordinance was denied, or I guess it was denied. But at the same time, it began with, let's vote on everything as a whole, all the red lines, which is, to me, most ridiculous when you have public comment limitations, which has always been open, but they couldn't see themselves as, and they probably got a report, as just hearing whoever talks for, maybe set up for the chairman to select somebody, and they talk for 10 minutes, and there's only 2 minutes left for somebody with another topic. So they couldn't see it within themselves to limit public discussion. And the reality is, there's only a few times something may be so hot, it might last longer, but they themselves said they're willing to sit there and let people talk, which I thought was good. And the other major topic was, the special use permit control that they have now, and that changing. And there's only one time it's come up, which is interesting, makes people talk and wonder why that last authority be taken from planning and zoning. Then you get to the same question we've always heard, is why even have planning and zoning commission? Does that check a box with the state that you have it? Good people, care about the county, care about development, comply with the comprehensive plan. It's not always been complied with. But anyway, the value of that committee is reducing, as so is the public comment time to voice people's opinion in this big old county with 67,000 people. But I just want to give the summary of what we experienced. It was a good meeting. I think they made the right decisions, and I hope you don't limit more public input from whoever it is. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to come and talk about the ordinance, Chapter 2 changes? 22, sorry. Anyone else? All right, we'll move to the last item in the public hearing section, which is, again, planning and zoning. The decision that was made at the commission's last meeting Mr. Paul Lemming requests a variance for less than 5 acres in an A1 agriculture zone for property located at 0 Old Mineral Springs Road, Lafayette, Georgia, 30728. Tax map and parcel number 0-315-001. Is there anyone in the audience, just by a show of hands, that wants to talk either for or against this? I just try to get a gauge on how many people are here to talk about this one thing. Anybody here to talk about Mr. Lemming's request? No one? All right, then we'll move on past that then. And I'm sorry, did someone?
I'll just mention, okay? Still, I agree with the comprehensive plan. Y'all made a good plan about it a few years ago, and I think it was upheld at the planning and zoning meeting. To maintain that minimum acreage is good, but I think it was discussed, personally, in public, or whatever, that there's many options for that particular site to do what they want, but keeping that this preservation intact with agriculture and things is very important. But I didn't get to talk to the man personally, but a lot have, and I believe there's other options than to go against our plan. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Then we'll go to public comment. This is where we recognize each person that wants to have a say about anything that they would like to talk about in this section. Is there anyone that would like to come to the, yes ma'am. Please tell us your name.
Hi, I'm Lisa Duffy. I live in District 4. First, I want to thank you all for your public service. I know it's not easy and it's probably not appreciated as much as it should be. Part of your work, I know, is to make decisions about our animal shelter and animal control. That's what I want to talk about. My objective this evening is to persuade you all to pass the ordinance, the changes in the ordinance, and force spay and neutering for family pets. We need to reduce the number of unwanted and neglected and abused animals in our shelter. It's just not sustainable. I know about this because I started volunteering. I volunteer about 32 hours a month to help clean the puppy kennels and other tasks associated with taking care of these animals. I know, Chairman Teams, you've been to the shelter before as a volunteer?
I did. I volunteered to walk the dogs in the open area at the yard. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have any of you other commissioners had a chance to go and visit our shelter?
I have visited the shelter, yes.
I would invite you to please come and spend a little time at the shelter so that when it does come time in October to make these decisions, that you're very well informed. I became a shelter volunteer after my dog died. My husband and I decided that instead of buying a puppy from a breeder like we did last time, we wanted to bring one home from the shelter. We adopted 2 puppies, and they're now an integral part of our family, and we love them. But I could not stop thinking about all the animals that are still locked in that shelter. It seems like an impossible situation. There are more animals taken into that shelter every month than they are getting out of it. The shelter management, staff, and volunteers do their best to ensure proper medical care, nutrition, sanitation, and emotional support for these animals, and they do an amazing job. I've learned that firsthand. But the shelter is no substitute for a loving home or life outside of a cage. You have the authority to enact spay and neuter laws. And I'm talking for families, not businesses. Our neighboring county, Dade, I'm sure you know, has no animal control or shelter. And you may also know that recently over 260 dogs and cats, mostly dogs, were found in deplorable conditions, living in their own waste, starving, some were dead and still caged with the living. Animal rescue and shelter professionals from our county and others cleared that premises, administered medical care, grooming, and housed these poor animals in shelters that are already overcrowded. Shelters are also overwhelmed by pregnant dogs and cats. Some are found wandering on the streets and brought in. Some are surrendered by their owners. Also, litters of puppies and kittens are brought in by Good Samaritans. There's many reasons I know that people don't spay and neuter their animals. Some think they can't afford to. Some believe that animals perform better as hunting or working dogs intact. Some people think it's bad for their health, but none of these things are true. There are numerous low or no-cost spay and neuter programs around the country, and I know Walker County has a voucher program. Unfortunately, from what I understand, there are 400 people who want to have their pets spayed and neutered on this voucher, or waiting right now, but
Close
there's
to
no
it.
money for it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know this to be true.
That's okay.
That was
You're all
supposed
right.
to be a question, but this is what I understand. If this is true, if there are 400 pet owners that want to take advantage, but there's no money, and it takes about $50,000 to cover all these, some of you may consider that a waste of money or too much money. Consider this, please. The average litter size of a dog and cat is 8 to 10. So if you multiply that by just half of the people who want their pets spayed and neutered, you could have anywhere from 1,600 to 2,000 more unwanted cats and dogs. What do we do with them? Now we have a much bigger problem. People hold on to beliefs that hunting dogs, for example, perform better when they're intact. This just is not true. There's no scientific evidence to back that up. To the contrary, intact dogs and cats have a greater tendency to be aggressive or fight and roam. Think about how valuable would a hunting dog be if his nose catches scent of a female in heat and runs off. One of my neighbors is regularly running hunting dogs off of his property. Natural behaviors of dogs and cats don't change when they're spayed and neutered. They just don't get pregnant. So the belief that spaying and neutering is bad for our pets is also false. Spaying is known to prevent uterine infections, tumors, and cancers. Neutering is known to prevent testicular cancer and reduce prostate problems. Male and female dogs and cats are less aggressive or prone to fight and roam when they're spayed and neutered. My first cat, Festus, when I was a little kid, he used to take off for 2 weeks and come back bloodied and battered. After we neutered him, that went away. He stuck around, but he was still a fun, playful cat. Humans started domesticating.
I'm going to have to tell you that your time has reached its limit.
Okay, well, sorry, then all I finish up with
yeah.
is, please, think about this carefully, and if we don't enact a law and force people to spay and neuter, then what? So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to speak at the podium? Yeah, come on up and tell us your name.
Sean Lawler. So about the fire truck accident. Now the gentleman, that was doing the maintenance and everything, was he qualified as a diesel mechanic and a gas mechanic? And is this new guy in his road, is he qualified with a diesel, being a certified diesel mechanic and just a mechanic? It's, there's two different things working with the diesel and gas. And another is, when he signed that job bid, the gentleman that performed the work on that work order that, crashed the truck, did he know that he had to have special endorsements on his license to be driving the rig and stuff and everything like that? Because in the reports that I've seen, if I'm going to work on something, I'm going to test drive it too. Did y'all have any of that? Was that did this gentleman or anything, or y'all know anything about that, or how you hired this guy? And you just hired the guy, you said, just out of the fire department, what Chief Hodge said, is how I understood it, and you just interviewed him? Was there a job bid for this or anything? Was he certified and everything? Now you're saying you have to send him to be certified to work on different things and stuff like that? Or, I'm just, a lot of questions right there too as well.
So in the beginning of our meeting tonight, you may not have heard me or not been
Well,
here.
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we didn't know that it was a change of venue. We were all
That's
over
okay.
at the
That's
old venue.
That's all right. I was just going to
Yeah.
just repeat what I said at the beginning, that I'm not talking about that situation here tonight.
So we're not going to talk about it at all.
Oh, you can come to my office and I'll talk to you there. Or you can do an open
it's-
records request or those things, but these are personnel matters and they're not to be talked out in public like this.
Okay, well, that's all I have then.
Who would like to talk next? This time, tell us your name. Sorry.
Melissa Halsey, I'm so
Thank
sorry.
you.
And I would like to follow that up and just kind of come to closure on this, since I was the one that made that initial post because I thought the public did need to know about this. But rather than discussing what happened, I would like to focus on what I hope we learned from this incident. And first, I hope we learned not to rush to judgment and take time to do a proper investigation when something like this happens. There's best practices for HR investigations, and these steps include things like designating an investigator, define the scope and make a plan, conduct interviews, examine evidence and come to conclusions, make a report, share the results, and then discuss aftercare actions. There's no way that these best practices could have been completed in under 48 hours. The time it took for 2 county employees to be terminated for this accident. One of those employees was within a couple of years of retirement. That in itself could create a costly legal challenge for this county to bear. There were many root causes of this accident, and they include management training, defined protocol for testing repaired vehicles, well-defined job descriptions and duties provided by and verified by HR, verification of credentials, posted lists of credentials for all to see when operating equipment, compliance with state law. Some of these root causes are not the responsibility of shop management. They are the responsibility of county management. A thorough investigation would have revealed all of this. I have asked the board on multiple occasions to look at policy issues. Things like this are mostly caused by leadership, not by bad employees. This accident was 100% preventable. If a fleet management review had been conducted, the lack of comprehensive insurance for high-value vehicles would have been discovered. If compliance had been discussed, particularly compliance of CDL and equipment driving, this would have been discovered. I once again ask this board to please focus on the job of oversight and policy. By focusing on your job, it will allow all those within the county to do theirs better. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? I can't see who that is. Oh, sorry. You'll be next.
My name's Melissa's husband, Jamie Husband. Just a little follow-up. I've been in the middle of it with a $1 billion company. I'll totally disagree if anybody thinks they're smart enough to not have self-assessments for business operations, financials, and if you do, that's too much arrogance. Because I've been through make versus buy. Have you heard of that before? PricewaterhouseCoopers audits on operational efficiency. It determines fleet size. It determines how many people is right for the job. The biggest benefit I've seen or your department is Blake Hodge. I really, really appreciate what he said because he is priority. He's saving lives along with the sheriff's department. And if they're not satisfied, we're not prepared to cover anything that happens with the fire department. That's pretty bad. So this make versus buy, forensic audit, I don't know what the scare is or the concern about not being self-assessed. Is it because somebody might find something on somebody, or do you want to do the best job possible to find something that you always hear the third set of eyes, see people, people think they know everything. I work with some dang PEs and sharp people, but it's amazing what these experts out there are doing. They wouldn't have a job either if they weren't needed to do assessments on corporations, government, private entities, public entities. So with that said, then we go back to the need at the time and kind of touching on budget is, you're saying we're spending our dollars wisely. We're not preparing for the worst because you see things that come up like a fire truck now, and then you see improper procurement that costs $100,000. You see something that happens. So we can't say we're covering all the bases because forensic audit, make versus buy analysis, all these things make the whole county better, and it might cost to do some of those things, but at the end of the day, it's a cleanup. At the end of the day, you're going to be as efficient as possible, and you're going to make sure things are in order, whether it's HR, finance, accounting, fleet, warehouse, the whole work. So I strongly recommend it. I've been in it, seen it, done it. Nobody got in trouble, but boy, we learned a lot at this $1 billion power company, and I'm all for it and will continue to be for it, especially when we see things that could have not happened because it was done, or efficiency because it hadn't been done. So, thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am? Please tell us your name, please.
Jan Weaver. You've mentioned, Chairwoman, the open records requests, and I was listening to, it's so nice that you all do that. You provide a way for people who are at home to see your meetings, and thank you for that. I know that a question was raised about open records, and I'm very familiar with them. I'm on the Planning Commission on Lookout, and we've had instances where we have had to do open records. And so I thought the answer that was provided was a little unclear because it left me feeling like the taxpayers foot the bill for all the open records. And so I just wanted to say that is not the case. It is the person requesting the records that pays the bill. And someone said that open records take people away from their jobs and they're very disruptive. I'm very sorry that if I've never done an open records request here, but I have statewide. And I'm sorry if someone felt like I took them away from their job, but the law would give us the indication that actually fulfilling an open records request is part of the job. It doesn't take you away from your job. And so I think, open records requesters can be viewed in a bad light, but there's been a lot of information that citizens have found out through open records requests that have been very helpful that we would not have known otherwise, because although you all are fine, upstanding members of our community, not everyone is. And so it's very important to have that opportunity, and the law says it's our right. Our legislature has given us that right. So I just think that it's important that people know that records requesting is not something people do lightly because they have to pay for it. And so I appreciate everybody here who takes the time to fulfill those open records requests because it's super important and it is upholding our law. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, sir? Please tell us your name.
Yeah, my name is Luke Harvey. I live off of Osborne Road in Chickamauga. And speaking as a relative newcomer, I'm about 3 years here. So I'm originally from North Carolina, and my wife is from Ottawa, but we both went to college in Walker County at Covenant College where we met. We both moved down the mountain to Chattanooga after graduating and lived there for about 4 years before moving to Chickamauga about 3 years ago. My wife works in Fort O as a physical therapist and up on the mountain to Thrive a little bit. And I teach high school English at Chattanooga Christian School, and also have a small woodworking business here in Walker County. I was the one leading the charge with my family to move to Chickamauga because I felt then, and still feel now, that Walker County was the sort of place that our daughters could grow up with the ability to proudly say they're from somewhere. For lack of more tangible details, it still feels more like a real place, largely due to holding on to its agricultural roots. Since moving here, we've absolutely loved our neighbors, the Chickamauga Library, we're frequent visitors, so many other things about this county. But cut it how you will, Walker County is a far more expensive place to live than Hamilton County. Apart from a substantial Georgia state income tax, more expensive utilities, car registration fees, there are also significantly higher property taxes. Most of these things are, I understand, outside of this county's control, but the issue of property taxes is one that deserves serious reconsideration and the one that you all have direct say over. The appraisal my wife and I recently got in the mail for our modest 1978 home, right? It's not a new property. You walk up to it, it's like, that's a house, right? Went up by $50,000 this year. We'll be paying $3,000 in property taxes at the current millage rate, which is a bigger percentage of a teacher's salary than I'd like to say. Meanwhile, Hamilton County's property taxes property values are soaring at an even higher rate than ours, but they've just dropped their millage rate this year to a historic low so that property owners can afford to live there. My brother-in-law lives with his family in a property that is worth about $75,000 to $100,000 more than ours, and he'll be paying $1,200 in property taxes. Another good friend of mine who teaches with me, who went to Gordon Lee, was born and raised here in a family with deep Walker County roots, returned about 4 years ago from Chattanooga to raise his children here, built a modest home on a few acres off Harp Switch Road. Again, you'd walk up to it and you'd see a house, right, not a mansion. And he's now having to consider moving since he's paying over $6,000 in property taxes. I'm not hoping that Walker County become Hamilton County. In fact, my family's largely here because Walker County isn't becoming Hamilton County. However, it doesn't add up that a rural county like Walker County would have extremely high taxes on top of a state income tax, while a predominantly wealthy metropolitan city like Chattanooga should have such low taxes even without an income tax. And as someone who has attended these meetings and watched them online when small children don't enable that, there's plenty of talk about bringing in new business, new industries, building new properties, whatnot. But it doesn't seem to be nearly as much active public discussion about how to make it possible for the people who live here to continue living here. Please take this into consideration as you discuss upcoming millage rates, whether that's talking about what Chattooga County is doing or proposing to do with a floss tax to cut property taxes. The article I read said by as much as half. Or just finding other ways to let us live in the properties we own. I know, and I've heard all kinds of things, that there are things like homestead exemptions, which, save us $150 a year, right? It's not nothing incredible. I'll take it, right? And there are things like senior exemptions, and being like my neighbor, finally exempt from the school tax once you're 75, and your kids are in their 50s, and your grandkids are out of high school. But your residents are more than seniors, and our young families like mine, my brothers, the Greens, the Davidsons, the Wallers, who want to call this place home, want to have our kids call this place home. Again, using Hamilton County as a comparison is not to say we should become like them, and I know the sheer population increases revenue, of course. But having lived and worked in both places relatively recently, I've seen what it can look like for a county government to value its existing property owners as well as attracting new growth. And you all are the ones elected with the opportunity to do that for a lot of people, my family included. So thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Yes, sir?
Hello, my name's Ralph Harris. Here talking about the Concord Road deal. I've got a petition that's been signed. I'd like to pass out to y'all if it'll be okay.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm here with my wife, Jody, and Jim Pope. He put this together, and we got some signatures. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you my copy.
At the last meeting, Brian made a statement, and Chairwoman, how she obtained, you shook your head. I want to make sure you was agreeing with him. He said any roads because of Concord being a dirt road, if there's any accidents, the county will be responsible, and you're shaking your head yes. I'm wondering if you agree with him or not on that.
So restate what he said, I'm sorry.
Any wrecks on Concord Road, on the dirt road part, the county will be responsible for.
Okay, so I shake my head sometimes, which I've been warned not to. But I'm pretty animated, so it's kind of hard for me just to sit here. So
I didn't know.
I'm not disagreeing.
Allow me to
Please
clarify that.
Yeah.
So the concern was, excuse me.
What I was saying was we have, and Carlin's hearing about it, we've had some terrible holes in roads that don't get fixed in time. People hit them and we do make repairs. It's just something we kind of do. So the concern became, this started when we started talking about the bridge replacement, about using that as a bypass. Obviously the state identified South Dick Creek as a bypass for when they do redo the bridge. So that's what I was just pointing out, it was to caution, and if people start using it a lot, we would have some repairs probably
But
questioned
to
upon.
my knowledge, there's not been any repairs in 3 years on it. And the people that's on this petition, every one of them said it could be dirt. They don't want it paved.
Is this the road that's like almost a one-laner? And
At
there's
one
a
end, yes, ma'am.
there's a pasture with a fence beside it?
It's a county road
It's-
now, correct?
Okay.
It's been here since before Walker County.
So my husband and I went down that road a couple weeks ago. It was nighttime, which was a big mistake. I thought I'd never get off of it. It's like, where's the end?
It's just over a mile.
It's really rough.
Yeah, part of it's paved on the west side where the
I
Thomases
think
live.
maybe 50 feet,
Mhm.
maybe.
Yeah,
It's rough.
well, yeah, probably.
But the reason I'm asking that is, right there on Eastern Emergency, that S-curve, there's wrecks there all the time. And I've never heard of a wreck on Concord Road, because everybody knows it's dirt road, they can't go fast. Everybody knows about the sharp curve, you know, and I don't think the people wanting 10, 12 loads of chert and grade it twice a year. So there's not gonna be maintenance to it compared to the $200-something thousand per mile asphalt. There's other roads that are used less than this road, that has more upkeep than this road has. And then the people on this, that voted, that signed this signature, all of them was very adamant about keeping it open because it's part of history. This road's been here since before Walker County. Just here for a couple of weeks ago, my baler messed up again. A man come through Concord Road instead of getting on 136. It was a lot safer on a tractor, you know, pulling a baler. Also, kind of change the subject a little bit. Where do you get a map that shows the districts, the four districts, excuse me? Where do you get them at? Other than online, can you come to the courthouse and get one?
I think you can get one at John, can you get one at your place?
I didn't hear what he said, I couldn't understand him.
He's looking for a district map where the Walker County's in their districts.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
At the courthouse?
No, he's
No, I can get you.
Planning.
He's planning.
I'll give you my number before we do the day and it's all right.
He's in
So
the
that was-
tax assessor's building in Rock Spring.
Because several people asked about that.
Yeah,
They didn't know where to get them out
yeah,
at.
it's very helpful, yeah.
I just think that the road needs to stay open. Very, very little maintenance is gonna be involved in it. And also, when will y'all vote on this?
Carlin's got the information from the lawyers.
That asked about it, and when Carlin brings it to the Board of Commissioners, we'll vote, but it'll be published on the agenda if we vote on it, yeah. But we'd have to vote on it to close it.
We don't have a date right now.
And once it's voted on, yea or nay, will it be, can it be voted on again? Or is that gonna be the final say-so for it?
That's a one and done.
That's one and done? Okay. Thank you.
Can I make a comment on that, please?
Sure, absolutely.
And I don't know that I'm out of line or not, but like we talked about before, in the Enabling Act, the board can open or close. So what I would just say is, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, this board, if voted on it, would be one and done, but if another board, as elections coming up, it's something that's authority given to the Board of Commissioners to open or close roads. So I would think it would be one and done for us, but it could be revisited by someone at another time, I think, because that is an authority that's.
Who you talk about when you say another board or other people? Who you talking about?
I'm just talking about as the board rolls over and there's other people on the board, you may have five new commissioners,
okay,
and
I'm
then
with you.
one of your neighbors may come and say, hey, and so then those five would look at it and they would have the option, to.
So basically, be the yea or nay either way till the election in case it's in the change.
I don't see that happening. I just wanted you to understand that's kind of the way that it reads, is that the board has, the open or close roads is a board function. That's all I was wanting to clarify for you. When you asked, was it one and done?
Right.
It would be here, but that could, in different administrations, they can, still have the authority to do something differently, I think.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak? Sure, Mr. Pope. Thank you, that was a good point. I appreciate you making that. Tell us
I
your name.
also want to talk about the Concord Road. And I have a question for Brian Hart. He's our district commissioner there, and he is well familiar with this road.
All righty.
Okay. I'm going to ask him a question. I hope it never comes to a vote before this board, because I think it would be a disgrace if it did, disgrace to Walker County. But Brian, let's suppose it did come to a vote here, and our people, our community people, wants to know, would you vote to close the road, or would you vote to keep it open so all citizens can use the road? Can you tell us how you would vote?
I can. So last meeting, Ralph Harris advised me that I had relatives on both sides of this, and it would be best for me to abstain from that vote. So that is what I would do. Because you are my uncle, and you want it open, because I have two cousins who have asked about closing it, so I'm kind of caught in the middle, so I would let the other board make the decision on that.
Now, you're sounding like a seasoned politician to me. That rides the fence, won't commit yourself, and you're familiar with this road, and you should be able to give us an answer how you would vote.
What I would do, Mr. Pope, is I would abstain from that vote because I have relatives on both sides of the argument.
Okay, you're going to abstain from it.
Abstain, yes, sir, I would.
If somebody asked you for advice which way you think it should go, what would you say?
Well, my advice would be, I understand your concern about keeping the road open. I also understand there's a petition, I think Carlin has a copy of, from the people that want the road closed. So I've looked at both sides of that, and I can understand both sides of that, why they want to do it. So my opinion would be I let the other board members make the decision, because I don't think I need to be involved with that decision because of my relatives on each side of the argument.
So you're still riding the fence, you can't give it either way.
That is exactly right, because I understand both sides of the question.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I put in an open records request here.
Okay.
And I was wanting to know how much the county has spent on that road in the last 3 years. It comes back zero. That's the problem right there. One local citizen, you know him, Dale Thompson, will say it hasn't been spent, any spent on it in the last 25 years. And we're not asking for a paved road to be put through. We just want maybe some chert put in these holes there. And open record request said that the landowners that's wanting it closed is going to submit a petition to have it closed. Angie, has anybody submitted a petition yet to close the road?
Not that I'm aware of. Is anyone aware of it that I don't know?
Carlin,
Carlin?
I think, has it.
Carlin got it? Okay.
No what?
Hold on one second, Mr. Pope. Carlin Bowers is going to help us right behind you. Right behind
Okay, but I just,
He's right behind you. Let me let Carlin speak for just a second.
okay.
The two gentlemen that are petitioning for the closure of the dirt portion of this road, they're not ready to move forward with it yet, but I do have some signatures that they've sent to me. There's a couple more things that they're working out. They're not ready to move forward with it at the moment.
Okay. Thank you for
So
that.
I do have it, but it's just on my desk right now. I'm waiting on them to finish
Okay.
whenever they're ready to have you guys look at it.
Thank you for that.
Just for the record, that petition that Ryan presented has 111 signatures on it that wants to keep the road open. And if you'll notice the cover page of that petition, it tells why that road is so important to keep it open. And we certainly hope we keep it open because the road's already there, no cost about building a road or anything. Just needs a couple loads of chert put in some of those holes and it'll be fine.
Well, thank you for your comments. We
Okay.
appreciate you being here tonight. It's already down to 68, it's just all these bodies. Yes, ma'am.
My name's Carla Hunt, and I am on Concord Lane, which is off of Concord Road. I just want to interject two things that Ralph and Jim have said. Concord Road is a historical road. Back in 1844, the Concord Church was formed. It was used by everybody in Walker County. In 1851, the Civil War Confederates used that road and used the church also. So that is a historical part of our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to use the public comments section? That's it. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Board. My name's Randy Pittman, and I got a couple of things. I was asked to, let me find it here. Excuse my voice, I've had a cold. Save the date. The Operation Outreach Veterans Appreciation Banquet will be Monday, November 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Walker County Civic Center. If you got any questions, donations, if you want to sponsor or register, call 423-760-6555. And I know some people are familiar with the Reefs Across Walker County. A lot of times when the programs happen, you don't see the people that are really involved, the people that's really made it happen. Well, Walker County lost Miss Donate L. Walker. I don't know who's familiar with her, but I'm just going to read you just a little bit here. And forgive me, her family, if I mispronounce any names. Donate Walker, age 73 of Chickamauga. Let's see. Went home to be with the Lord Thursday evening, July 3rd, 2025. She was born in Manila, Philippines, to the late Victorino and Flora Agar Laxon. Donate was proud to become an American citizen in 1985. She was extremely patriotic, and this lady was. She's actually the lady that set the reefs in Walker County in motion. She's the first to reach out to the cemetery to get us involved with them. She was the first to help compile the list of the veterans in this cemetery. She did a lot of the footwork. And the committee for the reefs across Walker County, and this year we've got some other members aboard, the American Legion, Lafayette Post 339, the Chickamauga 217, the Auxiliary Unit 217, which Miss Walker was a member of, the Walker County Historic Preservation Commission, along with the Operation Outreach. We're working to honor her and name the reefs across Walker County the Dante Walker's Reefs Across Walker County. So we're going to work on that. You'll see that out. We've already inquired some printing costs, but this is happening, so we want to honor her in that that arena, and we appreciate her service to the veterans of Walker County.
Thank you, Randy. Who else would like to make a public comment? Hello.
Hello. So Jonathan Lassiter, City of Rossville Interim Mayor. Cheerleading teams, board. Just want to follow up on some fire training support that I'd gotten with y'all about. But I hope you're doing well this evening, first off and foremost. Hope you're having a great evening in this building. I wanted to touch base with you regarding the fire training for the City of Rossville, which helps Walker County and the City of Rossville. I appreciate your acknowledgement of the importance of this issue at last meeting in June, where you had stated, and I quote, "I want to make this right," and end quote. And I hope you do, especially given the current circumstance that Rossville has the only active in-service ladder truck in the county. It would be fantastic to see this progress move better for our community, Rossville, and Walker County. I would have liked this topic to have been on tonight's agenda for this July board meeting. The previous board meeting suggested that some of the members may have been misinformed, and some weren't aware of the situation, which kind of confused the decision-making process. Since the last meeting, I promptly sent over the memorandum of understanding that you requested the very next day. Thank you. But I haven't heard back. I even had spoken with Mr. Askew and Mr. Wilson, and they hadn't had a chance to review the MOU as well. And I understand everyone's busy. And at the last meeting, Ms. Teams, you raised concerns about the city's request for the property, and you'd mentioned that Chief Hodges' location concerns. However, I had spoken with Mr. Hodge a couple of times, who even visited the property, and he indicated that it would meet the city's needs, though he did recommend relocating that in the future, that wasn't a permanent site, and he wouldn't recommend for that. But for now, he believes that location in the city could be a good use, and it would be suitable for our use to use that property. And I believe he's even sent y'all an email on that stating the same thing. And I do want to thank Chief Hodge. Thank you for your diligence in checking on that for me and the city, and the efforts that you do in supporting your fire department, both the city and the county. And that's all I'm asking for, is just something temporary for now, and that, as the MOU stated, until someone gets a chance to build or have a long-term solution. In closing, I understand that you have been managing the budget, setting an agenda, as I've been going through the same process. So I understand what you're going through, just on a smaller scale. But during this time, I've also been proactive in coordinating with your fire chief and a couple of your board members to address these concerns. However, despite my efforts, I felt that this matter could have been placed on the agenda after we had discussed it at last meeting. And because after speaking with some of your board members, they indicated that they had no issues with working with the city as well. So, Ms. Teams, all the concerns that you had raised in the previous meeting have been addressed, including those from your fire chief and his concerns and your concerns on the MOU. But please let me know if you have any other concerns on this so I can resolve those as well. The citizens of Rossville deserve to have this matter resolved as quickly as possible, as it has been lingering way too long. Thank y'all.
I'd like to respond, if you don't mind, to stay for just
Go ahead.
a second. So, you're right. There was never a promise to have it on the next agenda.
No, there wasn't. You're right. I figured there would. I'm surprised that it wasn't. That's all I'm saying. I apologize.
And I appreciate your proactiveness in getting with the right people and getting me some information. It was my understanding that your meeting with the commissioners that you met with just happened, and this agenda had already been set. So it kind of happened later in the month, is what I'm trying to say. So it wasn't I don't want you to think it was overlooked, or that I don't intend to put it on another agenda, because I do. I just haven't been given okay, we're all good now, we need to talk about it in the public again.
No, and I get that, and I can completely understand. It was just I felt that y'all could have put it on the agenda, knowing that meeting was scheduled with the commissioners, and then they could have just you could have gotten with other members, and then they gave you the feedback. But I mean, I understand, so that's why I'm saying maybe next month.
Okay, I appreciate your understanding.
Yes, of course, thank you. If y'all need anything in the meantime, let me know.
Absolutely, thank you. Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good.
Dwayne Wilson. I live in High Point, Georgia. My wife and I have a small 11-acre farm there, and I'm the fire chief at Macklemore. I wanted to speak about the new Salem mutual aid agreement. Before I do that, I want to say thank you for Chief Hodge and his administrative staff for helping us with our ISO. We had a change of chief in February. 10 days later, I had ISO inspection, so that would not have been possible without his help and his whole team. So thank the board for allowing that to happen. We already have an automatic aid agreement with New Salem. 2 months ago, we had an actual house, some of you may not know, but some of Macklemore Resort is in Dade County. So we have about 35 lots in one house. That one house got hit by lightning and did over $100,000 worth of damage, but no fire. The response from New Salem with us was under 10 minutes. That saves your fire trucks from the valley going all the way up the mountain. So those mutual aid agreements are very important. New Salem is a great department. It's a great opportunity. One thing that Chief Hodge didn't mention, anytime you do an automatic aid, he has his guys go out and train with those individual departments quarterly where they know our equipment, we know their equipment. If we have a fire together, we'll know how to work off each other's trucks and know what to expect. So I appreciate that, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Keith.
Does anyone else have any comments to make? Anyone? Okay. No one? All right. We will move into the consent agenda section. There are 5 items, and I will give a short summary of each one. They will all be voted on in one single vote. Should a board member object to any item being in the consent agenda, it is restored, can be restored to the place it would have otherwise been considered on the regular agenda. So y'all can take one out and say, tell me you want to put it on the regular agenda, okay? And the first one is the request for approval for the use of opioid settlement funds for Walker County Sheriff's Office Certificate Program Training addressing opioid use disorder and co-occurring conditions. That's a lot of words. Thanks, Alex. We receive these funds regularly, and they must be utilized for specific programs like this training program. The second one is a request to approve the agreement between the Walker County Sheriff's Office and Bridgepoint Correctional Health, LLC. This contract provides professional medical services to the inmates in the Walker County Jail Facility for 1 year. The next one is approval fiscal year 2026 Lookout Mountain Judicial Circuit Mental Health Court Grant budget. We are the fiduciary for this grant and responsible for appropriating funds as requested by this agency. The next one is an amendment to number 2 to the Trail Development Agreement and grant temporary access of construction easement between Walker County, Georgia and the Trust for Public Land. And the last one is award a contract to Hasbun Construction LLC for the construction of the Chickamauga Battlefield Connected Multi-Use Trail. At this point, I'd like to invite Noel Durant to speak to us about these 2 particular ones, please.
Thank you so much. Noel Durant, Tennessee State Director for Trust for Public Land, and a Walker County resident. And I'm excited to be here today to talk about our amended trail services agreement and the construction contract with Hasbun for the Battlefield Connector. Over the last several months, we've been working in lockstep with Walker County to pursue a bid invitation and go through procurement to find the qualified general contractor to build the Battlefield Connector. And Hasbun Construction was the firm selected, had a competitive bid, but it was over budget. And so we're so grateful to Carlin Public Works to find a creative solution to help solve a challenge on Osborne Road with the box culvert. And we're also very thankful to some of our philanthropic partners to come with more local match to support the construction of the Battlefield Connector. The Trail Services Agreement and the amendment that is being considered tonight helps clarify the financial roles and responsibilities between Trust for Public Land and Walker County, especially related to the Appalachian Regional Commission grant award. And in conversations with Alex and with Christian and our finance team, we thought it would be a simplest solution for Trust for Public Land to grant funds, our local match funds in hand, to the county, and for the county to execute the contract with Hasbun. It's a cleaner solution, easier for reimbursement, and less sort of telephone, if you will, between invoices, accounts payable and receivable. We are, time is of the essence on this opportunity. We have a bid, we have this project ready to go and defined. And so having the county vote on this at this meeting allows us to continue moving forward with this process, and we anticipate a pre-construction meeting in the next few weeks, certainly within a month. And we anticipate construction, once mobilized, will be somewhere between 4 to 6 months, depending on weather. And we are very excited to be the project manager alongside Walker County. So our trail services agreement, we have both project management staff, including myself, as well as a contractor who is highly capable, who will be working alongside our engineer of record and Walker County to make sure that the specifications are being met by the contractor. And we're excited to see this project move forward. Appalachian Regional Commission and the Georgia Department of Community Affairs are also very excited about this project. There was a conference just last month in Rome, Georgia, and the state ARC coordinator was mentioning this project specifically. So we're excited as a new partner for Walker County to see this project come to fruition, and excited to be celebrating a groundbreaking as soon as possible on this.
Great, thank you. Does the board have any questions for Mr. Durant? Thank you for speaking tonight, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So again, we're voting on all 5 items together. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
No, ma'am.
All right. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion is granted for all 5 items. Thank you. Now we'll move to new business. And the first one is, there's 4 of these, and the first one is the approval, the request that was made by Chief Hodge earlier in the evening to approve the engagement of automatic aid agreement with New Salem Fire Department. Do I have a motion for this particular item, please?
Yes, motion to approve.
And second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, motion is passed. Second one is purchase order. Again, this one was already talked about by Chief Hodge. Or purchase order number 2025-0002-338 for $1,469,735 for the purchase of a ladder truck for Walker County Fire Rescue. Do I have a motion for this?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. So, yeah, and you mentioned it earlier, I just want to make sure I understand it.
Okay.
The payment on it, we haven't determined yet how we're going to pay for it.
That's correct.
It's either going to come out of the fund balance or we're going to possibly finance
That's
part. Is
correct.
that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
It's all based on interest rates that we can find.
Okay.
So this, we're just voting to approve this amount so that we can secure that truck,
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
And then are we gonna have to vote on again how we're gonna,
No.
what we're gonna finance or however, okay.
Well, you'll be told what we find, but
Mhm.
unless I'm at an impasse and it's not obvious that we should go one way or the other.
Okay.
But Alex, am I wrong about that? Would they have to vote on that, or
I think they may have to vote on it.
Okay.
Whether
Well,
we're gonna finance it or whether we're
I think it might be
gonna pay out of
appropriate to do
fund
it in public anyway,
Yes.
so, because I can tell everybody what we found,
Mhm.
and that way it's open discussion. Okay,
That
so
was
we'll
my
plan to do that then. But we won't have to pay for this truck until it's coming off the line, so.
Okay, just secures the money.
Yes, that's right.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? All right, it's approved. The next one is discussion on replacing a culvert on Wilder Road. And I'd like to ask John Persley to come up and tell us how the history of this and how I've been involved and what we kind of got a plan for in the future.
I've got a few pieces of paper here I'm going to give you regarding the culvert there on Wilder Road and the hydrology report that we had an engineering firm do. I think it was in February, March this year.
Something like that.
Somewhere.
Hang on, I have it right here.
I think we received the results in February.
March 5th.
March 5th, okay, first of March.
Yep. You weren't wrong.
I knew it was, I think we did it back in February.
Yep.
I'll explain them as I go.
Is that different than what's in our packet, John?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, sir. This is, I didn't print the 400-page hydrology report. Of course, we can get that information, but I just kind of summarized it here with, hit the keynotes, and there's an outline of the property and the surrounding property, and the ditch line as well. So there you are. So on the first page, which is a white paper labeled number 1, that gives you, this is off out of the hydrology report.
Copy that because that's my property. Let's follow along.
Yeah, sure, you're welcome to have this. I'll just speak.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
I'll just speak on it.
You need one to look at it.
No, I kind of know. I just don't know exactly which page is what page, but I can speak on it. It's okay. So that first one that's labeled 1 and 2, that's out of the hydrology report. That shows you the culvert that's there and the ditch line that runs, I believe it's to the west or northwest right there down Tubb Road. And then what the engineer had found as far as on his results of doing that study. And then on the page 2 of that, it shows what he felt would be the most logical fix due to the hydrology in that area, which would be to add an 18-inch pipe from the front yard, which takes on a tremendous amount of water, and there's not a culvert in his driveway to shed the water from the volume that he's getting. The other pages just outline the flood zone. Unfortunately, this property is in the middle of a flood zone. And so you could, based on the hydrology report and the engineering, you could remove that culvert currently and not have it in there, and it's not going to make a difference unless we address it further up the ditch line. The last page on there, I did a Google Earth and then added a couple pins and kind of did a summary on the starting point and the ending location of that ditch that needs to be cleaned out. That is on private property. I spoke to the property owner. Part of stormwater and erosion for the county, that is a ditch, so we could do a prescribed easement to get in there. It's a little different than most private properties where you just own a parcel of land and want the county to come in there. Since it's part of the stormwater and the watershed for that district, we could technically go in there and do some work, and so that needs to be addressed. We're yet to go in there and see exactly how far, because we've not had access until 2 days ago from the property owner to confirm that he's okay with us going in there and evaluating the situation. But how it's laid out now, that culvert, to address the culvert or to change this culvert at this time is going to be a waste of the taxpayer dollars. We need to go further up and address it because the water is not going to shed. So that would be my recommendation as a starting point, to clean that from Tubb Road where it goes towards Highway 27 bypass.
And who would do that work, Walker County?
Well, we'll have to evaluate that and see. But cost-wise, compared to changing that culvert, excuse me, right now, if the water cannot leave the location, you could technically remove that culvert out of the road and not have it. It still has nowhere to go. So we're going to have to address that situation further up before we dive in. And then at that point, we can reevaluate it. Now, of course, that's just my recommendation. Me and Carlin Bowers, Road Department Superintendent, measured the sewer line. There's a shallow sewer underneath that culvert, so you're not going to be able to dig down unless you did a sewer redirection, which that's all going to be have to be evaluated. And so there's multiple challenges into changing this culvert. It's going to be more than just adding a culvert and the water's going to move. That's impossible at this time, which the first page I handed you shows the blockage, and I have pictures on there as well showing the blockage upstream. It's pretty much just a dam. So those are going to have to be addressed, or changing that culvert at this time is just going to be irrelevant.
John, so you got permission 2 days ago or a couple of days ago to get.
It was Tuesday, yes,
get
sir.
onto that property and do an evaluation. Can we, there's definitely some issues there. I've met with the homeowner as well. I know the Chairwoman Teams has as well. I'm very familiar with the area. It's the area I grew up in, in that general area. So there's definitely some problems. How quick can we get on and kind of, what's our plan as far as going ahead and doing an evaluation so that we can kind of get something moving so we don't just let it die on the vine?
Yeah, so Carla and I had spoke about this earlier today. He was out of town at a meeting today, so we hadn't discussed it in detail, but I believe first of the week was the goal to go out and walk it. We have a few others in that area, but we just now obtained permission. And so I think first of the week, within a week's time, we'll be able to walk it, kind of have an idea of the scope of work that we might be able to go, that ditch that I measured out, and of course just measured it out on computers, not exact numbers. We haven't walked it or pulled any accurate measurements yet, but it was about 700 feet to get to the GDOT right away on the bypass. So we might be able to go in there 100 feet and fix the issue. It might be 300 feet. We do not know at this time. But I do know if we do not address that, just simply swapping like for like, you're not going to be able to upsize unless you want to do, reevaluate Water Road, maybe, raise the elevation at that point, or do a sewer redirect. So there's a lot more to it than just like for like and making it work. The issue is further up at this point because, as we all know, common sense, water moves. Water can't move, it backs up. That's currently what we're dealing with.
Any other questions?
I just would, like I said, I just would like for us to, we're moving in a good direction. It is, and the flood map shows, the floodplain map shows pretty well that it is dead in the middle of it, the area that we're in question. But yeah, I do know that,
I don't know of any damages, and Mr. Kramer might be able to speak to that more. I don't know of any property damages that's been affected by this, but I do know FEMA and other agencies, I've not dug into it, but I do know that that might be a possibility for him as well to reach out, see if they'll change the elevation like they did on some of the properties in Chickamauga years ago, if he's worried about that. But I do not know of your property ever flooding as far as getting into the structure. But like I say, I've not witnessed it, or I'm just asking him if that is the case, and he might have a leg up to reach out to them to see if they can help him with that. But my recommendation for it, I think it would be a waste of money at this point to change that culvert without addressing the problems further up.
I see that, and I agree that there's multiple issues. I know Mr. Creamer's having issues with it, and we want to continue to move forward, and just kind of try to look at what combination that we can do that would could
we'll
rectify.
definitely get out there. It might be Wednesday, but it will be before the week's in, and we will walk that, and we'll figure out exactly what the scope of work is, and we can address it at that time. I can get with Ms. Teams and let her know as well as to what it's going to take.
And I'd like to keep Mr. Creamer involved as well as we see where we are, and kind of keep him posted too, and because it does affect even other neighbors in that area as well. So
yeah, there's several things where it backs up. Yeah. And it backs up, as you can tell in some of those photos, that it was backed up that day, and we still had a few feet of culvert left. So cleaning that issue out is going to allow the water to flow. That would be a start for me, rather than just changing that out, swapping it out. It's not going to do much at this time, in my opinion, based on the engineering and what we've seen in the past.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I would like to afford Mr. Kramer 5 minutes, because I think you were going to speak in our public comment, but you were out of the room when we had.
Well, I thought I had to bring it up now, not in public comment.
Okay, apologize.
No. My name's Al Kramer. I live at 307 Wilder Road. I bought the house in January of '07. I did not find out till later that year it had been changed to a flood zone. Evidently, the owner was not required to tell me. Wasn't required to tell me it was haunted either, but I don't mind that part. But this culvert was put in about 1927. This is a creek that's been here since the Battle of Chickamauga and before. It's a dry creek, though. Never gets water till it rains. But this water cannot make it through the curve in this culvert. It backs up to the top of the culvert, and when it does that, it backs up along my whole creek. Then it backs up through my backyard, and at one point in '09, every single house all the way to Wilder Road was surrounded by water. And the way the weather's getting lately, global warming, I don't know, I think Mother Nature's just having an attitude. But it's very possible it could happen again. The flooding in the yard doesn't occur until after this is all done. In my opinion, to put a drain over to the other side, it's not going to keep that thing from flooding. The flooding will still occur. It'll still come through my yard. And until it gets back to the 18-inch tunnel they want to put through my yard, the creek continues flooding. It has been into my lower building. It's been through my buildings out back. It's been within one step of my house. It's been under my house. And I have 9 other taxpayer neighbors that have been through the same thing. I've got video of it, I've got pictures of it, and I would really love to have y'all call me, come out to my house and take a look at what's going on. It's not as simple, in my opinion, as what the engineer's saying, because I've been watching this for 18 years. And every time we get a good rain, I get nervous. I've had to pack sandbags around my house countless times to try to keep this from happening. I appreciate the studies and everything, but this culvert has long outgrown its ability to funnel that water. That creek has gotten progressively bigger as it goes further back behind me. Clearing out something across the road and downstream from this ditch is not going to make that culvert flow any faster. Every time I've looked, the water coming out of the culvert is never over the road on my neighbor's side of the house. It's never flooding anything over there. It's only flooding me and 9 other neighbors on the east side of Wilder Road. So Angie knows how to get hold of me, Mark, Robert, they can give you my number. Please come out and take a look before you vote on this, because I think this is a very, very serious issue that the culvert will go a long way into resolving. And if there's problems downstream, of course they'll have to be fixed, but if the water is able to flow through this culvert and continue on down that way, we will not have the flooding that we have on our side of the road. Angie, thank you for being the first commissioner to step up and try to do something, and you guys have been great. I appreciate you coming out, but please give me a call, come out and take a look, and let me show you real firsthand what's going on.
One question, please.
Yes, sir.
You're required to have flood insurance there?
I am not required to have flood insurance, and I cannot afford flood insurance.
I just didn't know if that was, if it was required by you being in the floodplain, if it was a requirement or not.
It's never been, as far as I know. I had it for 1 year, but, you know, the government with flood insurance, they think you're a millionaire. And I'm maybe a millionaire once if you had everything I've made over 66 years, but I'm not a millionaire today.
Thank you, Mr.
y'all.
Kramer.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Do I have a motion from the board on the culvert replacement? I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry, we were just discussing it, my bad.
I think we're just gonna move forward with the.
Okay, gotcha, okay. All right, the last new business is back to the Planning and Zoning Commission decision for Mr. Paul Lemming, who requested a variance on his, for less than 5 acres on his property. Tax map and parcel number 0-315-001. The Planning Commission recommended this variance be denied because it does not meet the 5-acre requirement in the comprehensive plan. Does the board have a motion?
I motion that we support that. One of Mr. Lemmy's questions is that he would have less than 10 acres there, so he may lose his conservation there. But I know Buddy Chapman's here, and I know that I've got property, Buddy being on the Board of Assessors, but I've got property on my farm that's less than 10 acres, but I've applied for a waiver on that because I use it for agriculture. I have been given conservation on it. So Mr. Lemmy, I don't think is here, but he could apply for that. I'm not guaranteeing him he could get that, but he's used it for ag before. I see no reason why he would not be granted that and if he gives her 5 acres. So I make a motion to support the Planning Commission.
It's 2.96 acres he wants to give to his niece, I believe.
Correct, and we're going to deny that, and that's what I'm saying. And if he gives her 5, it makes his property less than 10, which takes it out of the rules for conservation for Cuba.
Yes.
But he can apply for a variance on that. That was my point.
Okay, gotcha.
And still get that.
So you are motioning to,
That we deny it, just as the Planning Commission did, but
Okay.
I will talk to Mr. Lemmy, he's in my district, about how, and I'll link him up with the Board of Assessors to see how he can get that conservation on a lesser track.
okay, gotcha. So we have a motion to deny. Is there a second? Do I have a second?
I'm gonna support Commissioner District 4. It's in your district, you know Mr. Lemming, 3, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know him.
You know Mr. Lemming, and I'm familiar with the property as well, but you know him. There are other options. If the options don't pan out, then I would have him to come back and maybe revisit that, if that doesn't work for them. So I'll second that motion.
All right. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I got a question. So if we deny it, and they can't give him before he does any deed work, and they can't give him the conservation, or the what you're talking about?
He's already got the coop on the property now.
But if he can't get it because he's got less than 10, can he bring this back before does it gotta go back to the planning and zoning? Does it come back to us? How's that?
It has to wait.
It will start over, it'll be a new request.
Yeah, 1 year.
So, my recommendation would probably been table it and let him see what he could do and then take a vote on it.
I mean, I don't have a problem supporting it, I just want to, I wanted to try to support the planning commission's recommendation as well, and rectify the issue too. I do know, now that it's been brought up, we're discussing a little bit, I do know that there are multiple adjoining, I think on about every side, adjoining properties that don't make the 5 acre minimum requirement. I think that was one of the things that kind of hung me up in why would, if they're all around it, then why would we not with that one? It's not like spot zoning, it's like almost the opposite. It's like if everything around it's smaller tracts, then why wouldn't we work with them?
Adjoining them are less than 5.
I think there's 4 or 5.
That are less than 5?
Yeah, on the same side of the road of Old Mineral Springs, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parcels ranging from 3 acres to 0.97 acres that adjoin this property that touch it.
From 3 to 1?
Yes, sir. Well, one parcel is 3 acres, one is 0.97, one is 2.5, one is 2.21, one is 3 acres, and one is 2.88. Yes, sir. That actually, the ones that touch it that border this property, one's 2.5 acres, one's 2.88, one's 0.97, and one is 3 acres. Yes, sir.
John, are those small parcels zoned A or R?
I believe they're A1. I'll show you.
That whole area was at one time.
You probably already know.
Thank you.
Where's his at? Yeah. Is he like trying to do this?
I'm not sure which section it was.
We did speak with him, excuse me, after the meeting and told him that information that he could apply at the assessor's office for less than 10 acres. I know a lot of times when Mr. Hart has some property that's less than 10 acres, and they granted him.
Yeah, there's several people in the county.
So we did explain that to him as well. I don't know where he's at with that or if he's moving forward with that process as well, but we did explain that to him after the meeting the other night. But that's why he said that was the reason he wanted to originally just cut out the 2.96, yeah, and to give to his granddaughter or daughter.
It says niece on one page and it says daughter on the other.
Well, I think there was a gentleman that was there too, that I think it was his daughter, maybe it was the uncle owns the property, but her father was there, his family.
Yeah,
it's
family
variance is what they're asking for.
Yeah, definitely
for the
family.
property. So.
Have this taken off. Instead of signing it.
That's a good point. Thank you, clerk.
Say that again, please.
So, Lisa, tell them what you.
He actually, Mr. Lemming contacted the county office and just asked us to remove him from the agenda, but since the agenda had been published, we had to let it remain on the agenda. We don't have that in writing, it was a verbal communication.
So he asked just to not even be heard tonight, basically.
Correct.
Verbally, not
Verbally.
writing.
So I think what we need to do is have a motion to rescind the original denied motion to deny, and then we go do whatever you want to do next. So can I have a motion to rescind the original motion to deny? This is rescinding that motion, that original motion. I need a motion to do that.
I'll make a motion to rescind that.
And then there needs to be a second to that.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, is there any more discussion though about that rescinding? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No. Okay, so we are, it's approved that we are going back in time. We rescind the original motion, which was to deny Mr. Lemming's request. Now we are starting over. Do I have a motion to?
I'll make a motion to table it.
Okay.
Until further information is given to Mr. Lemming.
Okay, is there a
For
second?
no decision.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion about this? We'll make sure we're clear on how we got back to where we are now. We're good?
So we're gonna reach out to him and ask for writing to remove it from the agenda?
Sounds like
Well-
Mr. Hart is gonna
I will talk to him to see.
Or see if he's gonna, if he, you know, just follow up with him and see what
My motion is to table it until he gets further information and we're provided with further information.
I will talk to him and link him up with the assessors board, and I think we can work it out.
This keeps it with us. It doesn't have to go back through planning and zoning.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We table it.
So we have a motion to table, we have a second motion to table it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? It is so tabled. Y'all are challenging me tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, that was confusing.
I know. Good teamwork. Okay, that closes the new business. Now we'll move on to commissioner comments. Mr. Blakemore, would you like to go first?
Just appreciate everybody coming out and getting involved in your government.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry? We need a what? Oh, to table it?
We need a date.
Mr. Hart, do you think
Till
30
next meeting.
days?
I don't know what that is.
All right, so officially, we will table that motion, that item for
Until-
30 days until August 7th.
Okay.
And we'll rehear it then. Thank you, Joe. Like I said, teamwork. All right. Okay, now we can go. Commissioner Blakemore.
Just appreciate everybody coming out and getting involved in your government. Just big thanks to Chief Hawes for all you do for emergency services and the due diligence to find a truck that was almost readily available. You do great work for the county. And thank you to all other department heads. Y'all do a great job and great work for Walker County. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Askew?
I follow up the same way. We've got a great team that works very hard. Every department puts forth a 100% effort to try to help us to make better decisions and help us do what we need to do. So I do thank all the departments, department heads and employees. And as I always say, I thank all of you for coming and having your input and giving us your advice, your thoughts, your knowledge, because it doesn't fall on deaf ears. It is listened to, and it helps me. I can say that for sure. So thank you. Continue to come. And one last thing, I do want to give credit also and kudos to our new meeting area. It's a little tighter, I think, but I do like to think it lays out well, and it gives everybody a little more, gets us a little more in contact with each other. So, but outside of that, thank you for your participation.
We will work on this evening, for sure. I would like to say one thing before I hand it over to you. Earlier in this meeting, someone brought up the fact about property taxes, and were we gonna do what Chattooga is doing? And that is the flossed 1 cent sales tax, and we are actively researching that to learn how that works. Flossed is F-L-O-S-T. That is a tax that all that money would go straight into our property tax pocket. So it would reduce property taxes. It's estimated by 40%. So we're researching that now to see if we can get it on the next ballot and if it truly is what it says it's supposed to do. So I'll leave it at that. So, Mr. Hart?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think somebody mentioned Chattooga County is working on that as well.
They are.
Correct? Yeah, I think a lot of counties are.
And Catoosa's going to do it too.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great thing to do. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. A lot of our employees are here tonight, so it's great to see everybody here, and thanks for your support. Gene?
Yes, the floss was a big item. So it's always hard to say we need to add another cent sales tax, but when you see the property taxes reduced, I think it will help. But so also, Ms. Duffy, I appreciate your comments on the animal shelter. I think she left, right?
Yeah,
As a father that has a daughter that's actually working in the county right now with the veterinary office, and the stories that she's seeing right now with some of these animals, it's tough. It's tough on her. So I know there's things. Bailey, we appreciate all you do for the animals. And how is the voucher, if you don't mind, can I ask that question? How's the voucher program going? Are we still having any? Are we out?
It's hot.
Okay. Hot?
It's hot.
But we're not out of money.
Everybody needs a snipping clip these
Yeah.
days, you know.
For
No,
sure.
we're not yet. We had it projected for the 6 months, and
Okay.
we're still well within that. And we've had quite a bit of donations, so we actually may be able to extend it.
Okay.
So you can so people can make donations at any time through the animal shelter? They need to just come over there, or?
No, it's online.
It's
We got all
online.
kinds of ways.
Online, mail,
Okay.
phone, in person.
We have a credit card.
We need
take it off.
25, baby.
We take
There
it
you
off.
go.
Yeah, we'll take it off. All right.
1963, baby.
Is there any?
Thank you for the stuff that the animal shelter does. Thank you all the county employees. Appreciate it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. No, I just wanted to try to find out.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you did.
Thank you.
Does the board have a reason for executive session? All right, well, I will call it adjourned. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Very good, thank you.